Hi, 你好，我是YiYi. Are you a little curious about me? In this video, I'm going to introduce myself to you. What's your first question? Let me guess. Which part of China do you come from? I come from not Beijing, not Shanghai. I come from a village in Changde, which is a small city in Hunan province. My little village is called Heishanzui, a small and unknown countryside, which is far, far away from the city. If you know a little history about China, you have probably heard about 改革开放. 改革 means reform, like 这个公司在改革 or 这个公司需要改革. 开放 means open to the outside world. 这个国家很开放，而这个人挺开放的。改革开放 is Deng Xiaoping's policy from 1978. Because of 改革开放, China develops very fast, especially the coastal cities like Shenzhen, Guangzhou. And every year there were millions of people from the middle part of China, including the rural including the rural areas that poured into the coastal cities to make money for their life. Many of them have children and they cannot afford the schools in the city, so they leave their children at home and let the grandparents or relatives to take care of them. In China, we call this kind of children 留守儿童. 留 means stay or keep somebody where he is. 今天晚上你留在这儿吧。守 means guard or keep watching. 这只狗守着老人。留守儿童 left behind children. And I am one of them. 我是一个留守儿童。My dad sold vegetables in the market and my mom took care of his brother's kid to make money for us. And I was taken care of by many people, like my grandma, aunt, or uncles. My little village was my whole world when I was young, but every year I had an opportunity to visit my parents who works in Foshan, a big city near Guangzhou, where it was a total different world for me. The people there dressed nicer, and the buildings there were also very beautiful, and it was so different also. Like they don't eat chili, but we are so crazy about chili. They always brought fresh flowers or 生菜, which sounds 生菜 for the spring festivals, but we don't do that. I think that was my first time starting to be curious about the world outside of my little village. So a girl in the village, how did I become a Chinese teacher? I think it started from my poor Mandarin and village accent. My high school was 2 hours away from my village, and when I went to school, I didn't know anyone there. And after the first Chinese class, a local girl who was very tall and a group of her friends walked to me, and she sat on the top of my desk and raised up my textbook, pointed at this word and asked me to read it. And I said, 泉水. And everyone just suddenly laughed. She corrects me, 泉水. And I said, 泉水. I didn't feel any difference. And everyone just laughed again, and she kept correcting me. 泉水, 泉水. 泉水. I was getting more and more uncomfortable and embarrassed, because I remember that I was very focused on her mouth and tried to imitate her, but I just can't hear and see the difference. I felt so bad about myself because I feel that I was not part of them. When I went to college, I picked Chinese language and literature as my major, and there was laughed at again by the students from the western part of China. So I worked hard on my Mandarin. I still remember that summer vacation, I visited my parents and helped them sell vegetables. And if there were no customers, and I will open the Mandarin book and practice. And then eventually I passed the standard Mandarin examination and I got class A. Fortunately, my college offered us an opportunity to teach Chinese through the Confucius Institute. And I immediately decided I want this because I have never left China and talked to a foreigner before. I was curious and I wanted to go to another country to experience a different life or world, and they said they'll pay me. So that was my dream job, and I worked on it and passed the interview and got the opportunity to teach Chinese in Bangkok, Thailand. My second year in Thailand, I started teaching Chinese online. Since then, I have taught more than 7,000 lessons to the students all over the world so far. Teaching Chinese has changed my life. Many of my overseas students became my friends and we visit each other. After staying in Bangkok for 3 years, I went back to China and bought an apartment with the money that I have earned. And the most important thing is, I met a guy while I teaching Chinese. He is a Chinese who was born in America. We went to many different countries together, had very good relationship, and we got married last year. Now I have a husband and live in America.
What would you like to tell your students based on your story?
I used to have a thought that people would like me if I am good enough, so I dare not to build a genuine relationship because of my family background, Mandarin, or appearance. But now I understand that people will like you at the moment when you are yourself. So talk to Chinese people even though your Chinese is not good enough.
But why are you so nervous talking English with the local people?
Only difference between ch and qi is that you use different part of your tongue to touch the roof of your mouth. When you pronounce ch, you curve your tongue. Let the tip of your tongue touch the roof. Ch, 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 u, an, chuan, chuan, chuan. And when you pronounce qi, let the front part of your tongue touch the roof. Qi, 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 yi, an, quan, quan.